Thanks again, and this is amazing, amazing work. And I just want to give maybe just a brief rundown on Chicago, what's been happening both in terms of the history, kind of where the campaign is at now, and some of the initiatives, which is very much in line with what I think a lot of everyone has really been talking about in terms of thinking through what repair looks like on these college campuses. So the University of Chicago was started actually in 1856 by Senator Stephen A. Douglas of the famed kind of Lincoln-Douglas debates. Most people don't know, unless you're a very, very wonky kind of biographer of Stephen A. Douglas, that Stephen A. Douglas actually owned a 3,000-acre cotton plantation in Lawrence County, Mississippi, with 123 enslaved peoples, worth roughly $5–6 million in today's terms. This was the wealth that Douglas extracted in order to purchase, real estate all throughout the Bronzeville area. The historically black south side of Chicago was all owned by Stephen A. Douglas, and it was this plantation in the Deep South that he used to get those funds, purchase that land. He then donated the initial 10-acre endowment to the University of Chicago, and had a Bronzeville campus on 35th and Cottage Grove, where today he's still buried, actually. So you have this monument to this archetypal slaveholder on the south side of Chicago, right across the street from the university that he began, and the campus later relocated to its current location in Hyde Park. But we've had multiple, so that's the rough story. You can go on Black Perspectives and see all of the research. The research has been, peer-reviewed several times. It just now came out in the Journal of African American History. And so where the campaign is now is, which it really breaks my heart in a lot of ways to hear all of these initiatives that are happening on other campuses, getting the institutional support of their deans and of their universities. The University of Chicago is denying these ties outright. The slave register that you showed at the University of Chicago, that slave register is in their archives, and they are denying that it exists. I've been told, and we've halfway confirmed this, they've gone so far as to hire a third-party historian to discredit the work and tell them what they want to hear. This is kind of unprecedented. I don't know of another university that's kind of been presented with this information by 4 grad students in their department, right? And have the work validated by its entire department in a lot of ways, right? Peer-reviewed multiple times, now declining to even have a conversation. And so we initially didn't present them with anything. The first thing we did was we went to the community, right? We were all organizers, labor organizers, community organizers, working on a number of grassroots campaigns, and we presented this to our networks and said, what do you guys want to make of this? And so the first initial action that happened, and this was about a dozen different organizations that came together, they crafted a letter, and we went to City Hall. We delivered this letter to Barack Obama's house, which is within walking distance of the University of Chicago. There's a number of campaigns right now based on the Obama Presidential Library. We've had some success in the past, specifically with health equity surrounding a trauma center at the University of Chicago, where we've been able to kind of leverage the fact he's trying to move in to the University of Chicago and effectively displace communities, gentrify the area. And that's effectively on the ground now. There's a campaign by COCO, which is the Kenwood Oaklawn Community Organization led by Jawanza Howard, who's doing just amazing work to basically try to make sure that this center of the first African American president is actually going to benefit residents on the south side of Chicago. So we've adopted that as one initial demand, right, as a way that the university could atone for this past. But our kind of angle on this is, the University of Chicago is a bit unique here. It's existential in the same way that I think Clemson and many other southern universities are, in that the university simply would not exist, right, without this initial founding endowment, meaning the whole thing belongs to the labor of the enslaved peoples, right? And how do you make sense of that, right? What do you do with that information? So we went down to Mississippi in order to we actually set foot on the actual plantation that Douglas owned, and met with the church community, which is a long long-lasting church community called the China Lee Baptist Church. The members there are not direct descendants, we don't think, of the enslaved who funded the University of Chicago, but their congregation is, right? The congregation survived because Douglass actually moved the enslaved to a different location where like a third of them were worked to death. And so just the not knowing, right, and the ability, the silences in the archives of the ability to find direct descendants is something we're probably going to be up against at Chicago because it was so violent and because Douglass went to measures to make sure that it was hidden, right? This was a northern politician that owned a plantation in the Deep South. This was breaking news in the run-up to the 1860 elections, and he tried to hide it, right, and tried to deny it, just like the university's trying to kind of deny it now. And so we've had a number of kind of coalition-building events centered around things like, Stephen Bannon's campus. So we had an anthem, from Stephen Douglas to Stephen Bannon, right? The University of Chicago kind of supporting white supremacy and giving voice to white supremacy. And one of the things on the legal side we found is that Chicago actually passed, and Joey probably knows about this, right? A Slavery Disclosure Act. And what this is this is NCOBRA, the National Coalition of Blacks for Reparations in America. They've been working to get these kinds of ordinances on the books, which says that any institution or the city of Chicago, any institution that does business with the city of Chicago has to disclose its historical ties to slavery. And if not, the city council is able to cancel that contract, right? Well, the University of Chicago has the second largest police force in the world, we think, after the Vatican, and it's contracted with the city of Chicago to provide policing to effectively make sure black residents on the south side of Chicago don't come to campus, right? And so this contract we think should be canceled. So we think this is a way to tie into questions of sovereignty, questions of police abolition, and we believe right now that part of reparations, what it would look like, would be the city council following the law, canceling the contract with the University of Chicago Ph.D., and have an unpoliced University of Chicago. That's one of the many things we're kind of fighting for. This, we'll see. Right? We'll see. We're having a conference in February, so you're all invited, warmly invited, right? We're going to be furthering this conversation with, and we have several dozen community groups at this point that have signed on and basically formed what we're calling the Chicago Reparations Commission, right? So a commission of community organizations that will ultimately be the decision makers as to what the University of Chicago needs to do. We have our own ideas also, but I think it's important, as scholars, that we're not kind of imposing. What I'm looking for is control of the university for the descendants of the enslaved and for the community on the south side of Chicago, that the university itself, in the spirit of decolonizing it, right, should be controlled in this case, right, have board members in this case of the descendants of the enslaved peoples who have made the University of Chicago even possible. So that's some of the more activist kind of work that we're doing. The next part of this, kind of in anticipation of the university's kind of counter report, is we're encouraging scholars especially, but also members of the general public to read the research. It's publicly available. If it passes your muster, right, definitely let us know, because we're building an archive of kind of national scholars that are willing to stand behind the work so that we can then publicize that and say, tell the University of Chicago, you need to take this seriously, right, and you need to come to the table. The community's demanding it. The organizations are ready. Black Lives Matter is on board, BYP 100. Barbara Ransby, who folks may know, has an amazing new book out kind of chronicling Black Lives Matter. She has an amazing organization called the R3 Coalition, which is looking at kind of making municipal socialism, right, and black-led community-run efforts in small local jurisdictions akin to like Jackson, Mississippi, right, that how do you basically liberate and create a freedom city in a place like the south side of Chicago with all of these opportunities, but all of this just, this devastation, right, that continues to be tied to it. And so the plans against the University of Chicago are part of the R3 Coalition's wider mission, which again includes a big umbrella of kind of left organizations from immigrants' rights groups. We're coming together with Jewish Voices for Peace and all kinds of other organizations that are trying to make this happen. So that's kind of where we're at. We're really anxious to learn from how things have been going elsewhere. But the one thing that I would stress that I think that we did do right is we didn't institutionalize too quickly, right? We didn't immediately take some of the offers from the university that were on the table to, put a plaque up, for example, or there's a plaque of Stephen A. Douglas literally in the dining hall, right, at the University of Chicago. So when you go there, you can see the slaveholder literally in bronze, right? And they're denying that, it ever happened and everything else. So anyway, appreciate your time, and yeah, look forward to continuing this. Thanks.